I used to think, once a crim, always a crim. But, like, I contradict that. You know, like, I'm not a crim anymore. I don't want to be a crim. I've got no desire to go back to my old life. Everyone used to fear my old man because he had a really bad reputation. He didn't fuck around with anybody. He used to work for Lenny McPherson, Mabe Saffron. He used to break legs for a living, be a debt collector, you know what I mean? He used to torture us and shit, so it wasn't good, mate.
Yeah, I bet.
You know? Like, I hardly went to school because I was worried about what my father was going to do to my mother. You know what I mean? Like, she always had black eyes, broken nose, you know. He was always biffing her for something.
Yeah.
You know? He was a shocking gambler, and we had no money, we were so poor, you know what I mean? He used to, like, get me to go out thieving all night and that, and bring the stuff home, and then he'd sell it, stuff like that.
Was there some fear there for you?
I was always scared. Like, until, like, at the end I wasn't scared. He always used to say, one of his favourite things he used to say is, you're not a man until you go to jail and all that. So, like, I was always wanting to go to jail because I wanted to be a man, you know, especially in his eyes. You know, I wanted to be more than just some little kid that he can bash the shit out of when he wanted to.
Most of the people who actually come onto our courses have had really quite traumatic childhoods, and it's been a lot of trauma and abuse all the way through childhood for them, which has led them into the pathways that they've gone into.
Yeah, I wasn't treated very good. I've spoken to other people about, like, basically all I wanted really was to have my dad come watch me play footy, stuff like that. I remember my mother saying to me, she said, son, you're going to do a long time in prison one day, and sure enough I did. When I first got there, they took me off the truck, and the officers went and grabbed Gary Stokes, Casper. So they went and had a talk to me and said, listen, we're going to take you from this wing, 1 wing to 2 wing, give you a job, hang with us, you'll be safe, you know. I'll do everything the big fellas asked me to do. You know, do coffee, do toast, you know, wash up, all that sort of stuff.
You go in at 18 and you build this connection with a gang that have your back.
Yep.
And the fact that you haven't had that feeling of family, love, brotherhood.
It's awesome, yeah. You latch onto it and you do absolutely anything for them because you've never had the mateship. And then when you do get it, you do things for these guys you don't actually even really know, things you wouldn't do for your brother and sister.
I never had, like, structure or stability or any of that. Like, when I went to prison, I got breakfast at the same time every morning. I got lunch, I got my dinner. I had a toothbrush for the first time in my life. I never had a toothbrush till I went to prison.
When you know you're getting out, prior to getting out, it's good, it's awesome, because you're doing like all the other boys do, you know, fucking getting ready, getting dressed, and the excitement of getting $500 from after being in jail. But then when you get out and you've got to go and find a place, you've got to report to probation and parole. They may put you in a motel for 2 days, but in that 2 days, you've already just blown your 500.
And you got no money,
you got nothing.
Nowhere to live.
And you got probably 2 or 3 t-shirts, a couple of pairs of shorts, you know, and a plastic bag, not even a proper bag. That's why so many of us go back and back and back. It's because we don't have backup, we don't have support or family. That's why I think I went back to jail a lot, was because of having that sort of spot in the friendship, you know what I mean? Like, I was somebody.
Jail's not a good place for anyone, even if you are a criminal and you don't fear it and you sort of like it, it's not a really good place to grow up.
There's still lots more that needs to be done and things to be improved in terms of jails to make them work more effectively. In a sense, as an institutional environment, they struggle to work well. When you look at the recidivism rates of 50%, it's about the opportunities. The individual has to make the decision to change, and organisations in the community, I suppose, I feel need to give people those opportunities to change, to give people a go, a chance, to improve their life.
Tell me about the saying, once a crim, always a crim. Do you believe that's a load of rubbish?
Yeah, I do. I never used to. To be truthful, I never used to. I used to think, once a crim, always a crim. But, like, I contradict that. You know, like, I'm not a crim anymore. And I don't want to be a crim. I've got no desire to go back to my old life. You know, I want it left behind me, you know, where it belongs.
It's pretty bad. I don't know how it's going to change, but a lot of people in the community, they got to stop thinking everyone can't change, you know what I mean? They've got to give people a go. If you give half of these guys a go, even myself, like I'm not asking for 15 goes, I want one chance. Because they already think I'm no good anyway. So how about we just try it?
Once you make up your mind and you want to do shit, you can do it. It's just hard when everyone else is trying to, you feel like everyone else wants to keep you down, you know what I mean? Everyone's trying to keep you down. Someone's got their foot on your throat. You know, you're laying on the ground and they've got their foot on your throat. That's what it's like when you've been to prison and you get out and you're trying to find work and trying to sort your life out.
It's important that you know, people aren't judged on the past. Once people have actually been to jail and they've done the time, then they should be coming out to a clean slate. We know that society doesn't always judge them that way, and will hold the criminal record against them, but they should be coming out to a clean slate. They've done the time.
So you see these as your family?
Yeah. I love making the move. If it wasn't for them, I'd probably have given up big time.
It's unbelievable.
Because I've done a lot of jail and just being a part of a group and having Bill, Lois, you know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for making the move, I wouldn't have a job. No one's going to give me a job.
It hasn't just changed our lives, it's changed heaps of other people too, like probably about 30 guys or something.
Yeah, it's done a few, yeah. It's helped a lot of people. It's a shame that it's not bigger.
Yeah, and that's the goal, eh? Like,
that's what you sure.
Love to see. Just see
I love
grow,
it.
more people involved.
A couple more trucks.
More guys get an opportunity.
Yeah.
Getting a start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so hard, believe me.
That's me.
Just smash it for the camera.
That's alright.
Oh,
Lois can have it.
Oh yeah. I've had worse than that.
it's better than chewing noodles, I know. I've got to the stage now that I've seen good in me, like I can be good, and it's a good feeling having people who like you. And just not wanting to go back to that ways. And now that I've experienced the good times, and it takes a lot to even think about it, knowing that I could possibly go back to the way I was when I come so far, you know.
Bill and Jay are classic examples of people who stayed with us, who's been working with us for the last couple of years. It's fantastic. It gives them opportunities. It gives Jay the opportunity to take his son out on weekends, and he's got money in his pocket to be able to do that. Bill, his lifestyle's completely transformed since working for Mate on the Move. He's got his own car. Originally, he was living in a boarding house down the road, so life's really transformed for him.
It's good to feel like you're part of society.
Yeah.
You know, you see all these other people getting up and going to work every morning, you know, doing their job, going home.
Yeah.
And it's a good feeling to know that you're, like, you get the sense that
It's the normality. It's being normal.
Yeah, you get the sense that you could be normal.
Yeah.
It could be possible to be normal, you know? And don't let people sort of tell you can't do shit, you know? Because, like, anything's possible. If you put your mind to it, you can do anything, mate. It's like, you know, like the world is a very mean and nasty place. Yeah. And I don't care who you are, it'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
Yeah.
You know? But it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and and keep moving forward. Because that's how winning's done, you know what I mean?
Yeah.